Now we move on to solving problems with 3 sets. Let's look at this question. 100 people took place in a survey. Here's one of the questions that were asked. Do you listen to Radio 555, Radio City Talk and Radio Riverside? The results of the survey were as follows, and it gives me all this information here. Okay, I'm going to be using that in a few minutes. So it then says represent the following, represent this information in a Venn diagram. So I've drawn my Venn diagram, 3 sets. I've labeled them 555, City Talk and Riverside. Sometimes people label them A, B and C all of the time, but I think it makes sense to label them with the name of the set. In this case, this. Okay, let's now see if we can start putting information into these sets. 4 people listen to all 3 stations, so that's going to be a 4 here. 4 here, because that's the bit with all 3. Okay, I've done that one now. 7 people listen to 555 and City Talk. Well, 555 and City Talk is this bit here. And we've already got 4 here, so there's 3. That's important. It's not a 7 goes there, because if you put 7 here, you're going to 7 and 4 is 11. There's 7 altogether listen to Radio 555 and Radio City Talk. So 555 and City Talk, there's 7 people altogether. Okay, so that's done. 9 people listen to 555 and Riverside. Well, 555 is here, Riverside is here. 9 people listen to both stations. There's 4 of them, so we have 5 here. So 5 and 4 is 9. So that's one done. 14 people listen to City Talk and Riverside. So 14 people listen to these 2 radio stations. There's 4, so this one is 10. Okay. 37 people listen to Radio 555 in total. So I wrote down the 37 here. And 34 listen to City Talk. I put 34 there as well. And 49 listen to Radio Riverside. So if you look at City Talk, there are 4 sections that make up this 34. In total, I need 34. So if I look at City Talk, I need 34 people in total, and I've currently got 10, 4 is 14, minus 17. So that means that there's 17 people left over that I need to make up the 34, so that's 17. Let's look at Riverside. Riverside has to have 49 people, and I currently have 10 and 5 is 15 and 5 is 14, 19, minus 19. So 49 minus 19 is 30. So that's going to be 30 people go there. And then 555, how many people listen to 555? 37. So 555 is equal to 37 people. Take away 5 and 4 is 9 and 3 is 9 and 3 is 12. And that's going to give me 25. So 25 people go here. Now, so we're not quite finished yet. And the reason we're not finished is because we don't know if some of the people didn't listen to any of this. Are there any people that should be out here somewhere in the universe because they didn't listen to the 3 stations? And what we do is we have to add up all these numbers here inside. Not these ones out here, because that's just to tell me how many are in this whole set. What I do is I add up 25 plus 3 and 17, that's 20. Plus 5 and 4 and 10, that's 9 and 10 is 19. Plus 30. I add up all those numbers. Add them all up, you're going to get 94. So that means there should be 100 people. We've only got 94, so it has to be 6 out here. So represent the following information on the Venn diagram. That's part A, you've done that. And part B, how many people listen to none of these? So 6 people listen to none. Okay, right, let's move on to another one of these. Okay, another question. This one has a sting in the tail. It's a bit more difficult, but let's have a look at this one. A survey was conducted to examine patterns in the ownership of iMacs, iPads, and iPhones. So I set up a Venn diagram with the 3. Okay, iMac, iPad, and iPhones. 213 had an iMac, good. 295 had an iPad, and 337 had an iPhone. Okay, so I've started the ball rolling. 109 had all 3 devices. 109. I could have made this a bigger area. And 64 had none. Okay, good. 198 had an iPhone and an iPad. So here's an iPhone and an iPad. 198. To be 198. 198, but I've already got 109. So take away 109, and that's going to give me 89. So this here is 89. These 2 together add up to 198. Okay, what's next? 382 had an iMac or an iPad. Okay, the thing about this is It's not an iPhone and it's not an iMac and an iPad, which would be in here. Those two areas would be that. This is an or. They have an iPad, an iMac, or an iPad. So it's this area, this area, this area, this area, this area, and this area. 6 areas. So I can't use that information just yet. I'm just going to leave that and I'll come back to it in a minute. Okay. And 61 had an iMac and an iPhone. Here's an and. 61 had an iMac and an iPhone, but not an iPad. So this is 61 goes here. So we're getting some bits and we're still missing 3 bits of information here. Now there's one bit of information I can fill in quite easily, and that's this bit here. The iPhone is 337, and I've got these 3 already. So it's 337, take away these 3, 61 plus 109 plus 89. And that's going to give me 78. I strongly recommend that you do this. Write down the information. Don't you just write down 78 in here. Because if you make a slightest mistake, you get 0 for getting the wrong answer. But you get marks for making the effort. Now, let's go back to this information we couldn't fill in at the time. 382 had an iMac or an iPad. So the technique is we let the area in this middle bit here be X. Okay, X. We don't know what it is. But we do know what this area is in terms of all of these. We know that if I look at the iMac, that's going to give me 213, take away, add these 3 areas together, 61 plus 109 plus X. So that's going to give me 213, take away 61, take away 109, and then take away the X as well. And that's going to look like this. That equals 43 minus X. This minus makes it a minus 61. It makes it a minus 109 as well. And it makes it a minus X. So this here is going to be 43 minus X. Let's do the same now for the iPad. The iPad is equal to 295. Take away these 3. 89 plus 109 plus X. And that's going to give me 97 minus X. So I put that in here. 97 minus X. Okay, now we need to solve for this X. So we know that 382, so we're going to solve for X. So we know that 382, we know that is equal to these 6 areas altogether. 43 minus X plus X plus 97 minus X plus 61 plus 109 plus 109 plus 89. Okay, now what you do is add up all the numbers and add up all the X's separately and see what you get. 382 is equal to 399. Now what have I got with the X's? Well, I have a minus X here and a plus X. They cancel out. I have a minus X here as well. So 382 is equal to 399 minus X. So you solve that, subtract 399 from both sides. You're going to get 382 minus 399 is minus 17 is equal to minus X. And that means that X is equal to 17. So X is equal to 17. Now we've finished the diagram. And what I might do is, instead of writing a whole new diagram again, because you won't have time for that in a test, what you'd maybe do is, if X is equal to 17, 43 minus 17 is equal to 26. So that's going to say equal to 26. And maybe put a little box around it or something. What about 97 minus 17? That's going to give me 80. That's equals 80. Okay, so that's equal to 80. And this is, of course, equal to 17. That's part B now. So how many people in total? So we have to add all of these numbers up. We've got, it's equal to the total people surveyed is equal to 26 plus 17 plus 80 plus 61 and 109 plus 89 plus 78 plus, don't forget, the 64. 64. I'm being really careful to add all those up. It'll be very easy to make a mistake, so which is really important why you list them all out. And maybe 524 people. Okay, well, you might come back up here now and go 524. 524. So that's the answer to that bit. Now, finally, the question says, what percentage of those people surveyed own exactly 2 of the 3 devices? So, which people own 2 of the 3 devices? Well, these people own 2. They own an iMac and an iPhone, so that 61 is relevant. These 89 and these 17. So they're the 3 groups. So let's find out what percentage they are. That's going to give me 17, 61, and 89. 17 plus 61 plus 89, and that's going to give me 167 people. Now, the question says what percentage of these people own these devices. So it's 167, so the percentage is equal to 167 divided by the total number of people, which is 524. That's going to give me a decimal, and then I multiply it by 100 to turn it into a percentage, and that's going to give me, I think the question says, to 2 decimal places. So let's see what the calculator says with that. That's equal to 31.87%, and that's your answer to that. I hope that helped.